And it's a simple process, and everyone goes through it. One, you have to figure out what is the best strategy for you.
Welcome to the Think Profit Podcast. All information in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not financial or health advice.
Hey, Walter. This is a common question that I've seen on the forums and probably very useful to a lot of traders or new traders. What's the best way you think for somebody to get started in trading if they don't absolutely nothing about trading?
So I would say you want to make a decision. Like, do you want to take the long path or the short path? And it doesn't really matter. If you have money, you can probably find someone to help you. And if you're willing to invest, you can probably find someone to help. If you don't want to go that route, you can read stuff off the internet or read books or whatever, which is what I did. It probably will take longer, but in the end, you have to do, I believe, strongly believe, there's a couple of things you have to do. And it's a simple process, and everyone goes through it. One, you have to figure out what is the best strategy for you. You may spend years doing that. I did, and many people do. So that doesn't mean finding the best system that has the best results, the highest win rate, the biggest risk reward, the whatever. Like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about identify what you believe about the markets and then use that, leverage that to build your strategy. And really multiple strategies, but let's just keep it to one. Number two, you have to get a lot of data on that. There's a lot of ways to do that. You can trade the live markets. That's very expensive. You can use a backtesting software. You can use an automated backtesting software. There are many, many, many ways to do it. But in the end, you have to decide that you are going to test this idea that you have for a system or someone else's idea and see if it works. Okay. And then the last thing you have to do is set yourself up so that you follow the rules. And there are many ways to do that. You can have a trading accountability partner. You can write your rules out. You can have a perfect screen, like a screenshot of a perfect trade that you're looking for, and compare that to what you're looking at right now. There's lots, and keep a journal, record all your data and your thoughts and your feelings, all that stuff, right? But you need to set yourself up for success because this is a job like anything else. And then finally, you've got to really zero in on risk and psychology, which are sort of two sides of the same coin. And the reason why I say that is if anyone has taken on a trade where you have way too much risk, you'll understand why there is psychology involved. Right? So that's
Hmm.
yeah. So in the end, so in the beginning we define who we are, then we do the hard work, which is all the back testing and tweaking and all that. And in the end, it just comes down to struggling with yourself, basically. And that's it. That's the process. If anyone wants to go through that and learn that, feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in the end everyone like ends up basically going through that simple process. You know what I mean? You figure out how should I trade, you figure out if it actually works, and then you figure out how to stick to it. And that's it. And it
Hmm.
sounds simple, it is simple, but it's not easy, right? It's not necessarily easy. It is simple though. So that's what I would say to anyone. And like I said, you can do that on your own. You can do that through books, through internet forums and all that. All the free, you can take the quote free route, or you can take a shortcut. And that basically, that's and a lot of things in life are like that actually. You know what I mean? There are a lot of
Hmm.
different ways to learn skills. Like if you want to learn how to be an auctioneer or whatever, you can go and or an electrician, you can go and study under one and learn from an auctioneer or electrician or whatever. Or you can just kind of figure it out on your own. Good luck, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it. It can be done. It might be even more expensive in all the blown accounts. Certainly was for me. But it just depends on how you want to approach it. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah,
What are
yeah,
your thoughts?
yeah. I mean, I totally agree, obviously, but I would take maybe a step back a little bit further and kind of figure out first, like, okay, what are these people trading? What is this market all about? Why do I make money if I buy or sell, right? And then get into like trying out the trading platforms, how to do the mechanics of the entries and exits actually work. And once you get there, then I think you can start to study other people who have been successful at trading. Okay, what are they doing right? What did they do wrong? What markets do they trade? And then I think from there you can get into, well, that gives you a little bit of confidence. Okay, this is, trading's a real thing. It's not a gimmick. It's not a get rich quick thing. And then from there, I think you can start to jump into the strategies and do what you talked about. But I just want to add that kind of in the beginning if somebody's like
Yeah.
super new.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you do have to kind of like, certain markets trade 24/7, like crypto.
Hmm.
Other markets, like the Australian Stock Exchange, is open only like 4 hours a day. Like, you know what I mean? There's certain time periods and things like that. And then there's like the pre-market and the aftermarket. So like you can trade the S&P 500 even when the S&P 500 stocks aren't. You know what I mean? They're
Hmm.
so I mean, there's lots of different approaches and things to consider. Like, I was talking to a trader in South America, and he was on the East Coast time zone for the U.S. So he wanted to trade the New York Open, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you can get up early and um, trade the early, but like if you lived in New Zealand, that would be tough probably to do that in the middle of the night. So it just depends on what sort of lifestyle you want to have and that sort of thing. So yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. A lot
Yeah,
to think about. Yeah, a lot to think about. The
yeah, yeah.
biggest thing
But I
I would
think
say is it's a job. It's a job. Just keep that in
yeah.
mind. It's not like you're drinking Mai Tais on the beach while your trading system is working for you. It is a job. There are things. It's a great job for a lot of people. It can be a tough job for many people as well, but it is a job and there is work involved. It's not like a way to get around work or anything.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think it's, yeah, a lot of people want to just depend on a robot or hire somebody to trade for them when um, that's not really how it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Walter.
Thank you.